Today we're back on the far northwest side of San Antonio, outside of city limits on Highway 211, showcasing the brand new community of Haby Hill. This community actually has two different builders in it. Today we're gonna be focusing on Perry Homes, and we're gonna actually show you two of their models. They have a 50-foot and a 60-foot model, which obviously behind me is a 60-foot, so you know which one's my favorite. We'll save that one to the end. Nonetheless, alongside taking you a tour of both of these homes, we're also gonna let you know what's going on in and around the neighborhood. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, my name is Quentin Starks, and I'm gonna be your realtor for the next few minutes. If you could do me a huge favor, go down below and drop a like on the video. It truly does help support the channel. And if you don't wanna miss out on anything when it comes to the San Antonio real estate market, we encourage you guys to subscribe. Without further ado, let's go check out the first model, the 50-foot. This is gonna be the first model in Haby Hill. It is gonna be their 50-foot model. So this is gonna be a 50-foot wide lot. It's gonna be the 2545 floor plan, which equates to the square footage. So 2,545 square feet, 4-bed, 3-bath. This is gonna be a 2-car garage. It's gonna be all on one level. Something I wanna mention is, since it's a model home, it doesn't have a driveway. Obviously, it would come with a driveway right here, and this is where the garage would be on the right. But as we approach, I want to definitely talk about this elevation a little bit as well. Perry is very much so known for these like contemporary designs on their exteriors, which is amazing. And they love to do this like brick and stone combo. So you have this nice 8-foot door on entry, and then boom, you walk right here into the front of the home, and you can obviously see all the way to the back, which is really nice. And I love the ceiling height that they have in here. Nice little tray design up top. But here on the left, we'll have your first 2 bedrooms. So pretty good sized bedrooms. This is a front facing bedroom. And then every closet in here is going to be a nice little walk-in closet, something that Perry's pretty big on. And then across is gonna be where that secondary bedroom is going to be. Again, pretty good size. They're kind of like staging as a nursery with another walk-in closet here. And then on their 1-story homes, they're gonna have 8-foot doors going throughout, which is awesome. And then on their 2 stories, the first floor will have 8-foot doors, with the second floor having standard 6'4" doors. But you do have a bathroom that splits, both of the bedrooms. So a nice size vanity there, tub shower combo going on over here. And obviously you have the toilet right there. And then across is where the garage would be. So since this is a model home, obviously this is their sales office, this wall would be covered. And this right here would actually be the entry to the garage on the right. And then you also have the thermostat and then a nice little kind of sit down or mud bench going on right here when you come in through the garage. And something I want to notate, this is a 50-foot wide home, but for it being a 50-foot wide home, these hallways are very, very wide, right? Like you have a lot of space to maneuver throughout, whether it's bringing furniture in or, you know, just to give you that kind of like grand feel, which is nice. But right here is going to be your utility room. So you'd have washer, dryer, and then on the left, they actually give you space for an appliance if you want to put one in. And then across is actually going to be the last secondary bedroom. So another pretty good size. But what Perry loves to do in their homes with 4 bedrooms is they love to not only put walk-in closets, but they love to put another like junior suite. So essentially, right, like a mother-in-law suite, or maybe the oldest child can have this room, right, have their own space. But again, another good size vanity. And then you have the full walk-in shower in this one. This one is gonna be mud set or foundation inset, which is nice. And something I always like to make sure I notate about Perry is they are a semi-custom home builder, right? So if you wanted to build from the ground up, you certainly could. Pick all the colors, the finishes, the floor plan, the lot, everything to that degree to truly make the home yours. They have a very in-depth design center appointments, I should say, which is amazing. So something I definitely want to make sure I notate about Perry, just in case maybe you like the floor plan, but you don't like the colors. But now we're in the heart of the home. So you have the living space in the back, dining room right here on the right with the kitchen on the left. So we'll start here with the kitchen. I actually really love how they designed this kitchen, that like natural tone on the bottoms and then the white on the uppers. but look at this huge island. You obviously can fit 4 stools there, but something else that I love is that right here on the back are gonna be workable cabinets, so more storage, which is amazing. If we go and look at this back wall a little bit more, gorgeous backsplash, amazing countertop. They did do the glass inserts, which typically I'm not the biggest fan of, but I like how they staged them. And then right here up top is the cabinet wrapped vent hood, which is always a crowd favorite. We are gonna have gas in this neighborhood, which is amazing. And then you guys know I love when the sink is in the island so you can entertain your guests, whether in the living or the dining space. And then speaking of this island, something we haven't seen too much on the channel is they actually have this opportunity for like a wireless charger on the island, which is kind of cool. So something you could do if you wanted to through the design center, but again, something I thought that was pretty nice. And then right here, you're gonna have a corner pantry. Love me a nice little corner pantry with the rest of your appliances there on the right. So the oven, microwave, and obviously your built-in for the fridge, or the nook for the fridge, I should say. Something else Perry loves to do in some of these 1-stories are these like hutches or these buffets. So you have a nice little opportunity to put more cabinets and counter space here. So you can just kind of have the game day spread up. And I love their fixed windows that they do. Just brings in so much natural light. Nonetheless, you are gonna have the dining space up next. This is kind of what we call like a shotgun style. So you have the kitchen, dining, then living, kind of all one big room. Really nice for entertaining. And this is a true open concept. Nonetheless, you do have a 6-seater here. I think an 8-seater probably could fit if you needed one, but I think a 6-seater looks really good here. Probably too much table for a 10-seater. Regardless, so you do have extra space here again with the dining on the island if you needed it. Before we get to the living, definitely want to talk about this flex room. So as they have it staged is a game room. You do have obviously the windows in this particular space. Typically, Perry does have structural upgrades to change this into other items, so something we could talk about if you wanted to. Regardless though, really nice space for a second living room, play area for the kids. Maybe this is a TV room, whatever the case may be. And then you do have a little bit more ceiling height in there, which is always appreciated. And these are gonna have glass accented French doors, which is nice. And then moving on over here, we're going to be in the living space. So like I mentioned, very much so like a shotgun design where it's all just kind of one huge room with a little bit of separation. But I kind of like this, right? Again, if you're in the living room or the kitchen, you can easily entertain guests very easily. Regardless though, pretty good sized room. They got it laid out very uniquely furniture-wise. You know me, I'd throw a huge sectional in here and then mount my TV on that wall, but definitely a bunch of space to do whatever you need regarding your furniture. Let's go out back first, and before we do, I want to talk about these fixed windows. Again, something that Perry is very much so known for, bringing in all that amazing natural light. Then you have an 8-foot door leading you out. So if we open the door, we'll then get into the covered patio. So this thing is actually quite large. This is more than likely their extended option, and typically they extend it from the edge of the home. So you're gonna have probably 3 to 4 feet of extension here, but regardless, this is a really good sized covered patio. Every plan you do get will come with some sort of covered patio. So definitely something that they do standard typically. Regardless though, this is gonna be the 50-foot wide lot. So nothing changes really depth-wise between a 60 and a 50-foot, just depending on which lot you choose. So this gives you a good accurate representation of what the backyard would look like, whether it is on a 60 or a 50-foot lot. So you do still have a decent amount of space back here. I mean, they even put kind of like that fire pit area. And this is a greenbelt lot. Again, just kind of giving you a nice indication of what could be your new backyard in this neighborhood. But let's go on back inside. Oh, and before we do, I just thought of something. Something also that's quite nice about Perry is they do 4-side masonry. So you do have brick in the back and really on all 4 sides, just depending on what you elect to design the home with. Tucked in the back of the home is going to be the primary bedroom. So really good sized primary bedroom. Obviously this is back facing, so those windows show the backyard. And you have all this walking around space, even though they do have a bunch of furniture in here, which is nice. They did put the French doors here to go into the primary bath, and it's also a good size. We'll actually start here with the tub, since it's right here in the center. Pretty good sized tub. Tucked in this back left corner is going to be the shower. So another really nice shower. They actually tiled all the way up, which I love. Put the diverter a little bit offset to the right for you guys, so you don't have to get wet turning the shower on. And then this is gonna be a mud set or foundation inset, which I also love. Nonetheless, you have some nice windows in here, bringing in good natural light. Here on the right is gonna be the first vanity, little oversized, which is amazing. And then I love how they actually framed the mirror on both of these as well. Just a nice little touch. You do have this nice linen closet on the right. It's funny, I was showing some clients this week, and they really wanted to make sure their home had a linen closet, which is understandable, right? A lot of builders don't necessarily focus on storage. So it was funny that they were so adamant on it. I love it, actually. Gotta love when somebody knows what they want. Regardless, 2 closets for each partner, which is amazing. And then we'll walk out and give you orientation one more time. Back of the house is here on the right. Obviously, we're in the heart of the home with the front over there. But now it's time to go talk a little bit about what's going on in and around the neighborhood. So now let's talk about what's going on in and around the neighborhood. So starting in the neighborhood, Haby Hill is not gonna be some huge master plan community. It's gonna be roughly 200 to 300 homes over 2 to 3 phases. So this is probably a 3 to 5 year plan, just depending on how fast they do sell homes, which is nice. It's gonna be very intimate, but with that being intimate, you do still get an on-site amenity center, which is awesome. As you can see on screen, it's gonna have like a little pool, a little club, playhouse kind of thing going on. And then you do have a park as well, and then nice green area. So with that is gonna come in HOA. It's gonna be $625 a year, which is very average for the San Antonio area. However, the one thing that I do want to mention about this neighborhood that's not so nice is going to be the tax rate. It's going to be at 2.41%, which the San Antonio average is anywhere from like 2.1 to 2.2%. So slightly above average. By no means is the worst tax rate I've seen in San Antonio, but it is a little bit higher. And the reason it's higher is because it's in what we call a public improvement district. 211, the highway that we're pretty much right off of, is expanding. So that improvement district is coming from the taxes in the area. So definitely want to make sure you guys are aware of that. Now let's talk a little bit about the location and what's going on around the neighborhood. So like I mentioned, we're off of 211, a little bit offset closer towards Culebra. So you'll have the opportunity to go to Culebra. There's a new HEB, a new Sprouts, and a bunch of like shopping and dining going on up there. So you have all of that, or you can go south towards Petrenko or 90, and then there's another HEB there. There's a Walmart not too far, and a bunch of other shopping, dining, a Costco, like everything you can think of. Plus there's a lot of healthcare facilities and hospitals off of 1604 on this west side of town. So in my opinion, a pretty prime location. I actually live in the area, so I know it very well. With that being said though, you are gonna be obviously outside city limits, a little bit further of a commute to like downtown, the airport, maybe the Rim in La Cantera. So keep that in mind as well. But this neighborhood, in my opinion, is a little bit more tailored to those people that are wanting to be outside city limits, not necessarily like in the hustle and bustle of town. And honestly, 211 right now doesn't get really bad traffic. So outside of like the high traffic areas as well. The last thing I want to talk about regarding this neighborhood is going to be the schools. So we are zoned for Medina Valley Independent School District, which via niche.com is pretty highly rated for the area. I do believe it's an A on niche.com. So really good schools. And then there's a brand new elementary school, brand new middle school, and then I want to say the high school should be opening up either this year, honestly probably just opened up with this new school year. So you're going to have basically brand new schools for K through 12, which is amazing. So with that being said, we're in the second model. Let's actually go out front and check it out. Now on to my favorite of the two models. This is going to be the 60-foot series model. Again, what that means is the lot is going to be 60 foot in width. So it's going to be a little bit more grand. Nonetheless, this is the 3619 floor plan, which equates to the square footage. So over 3,600 square feet, 5-bed, 4.5 baths with a 3-car tandem garage. Here on the right is where that garage would be. And I totally forgot to mention it earlier, but in this neighborhood, both series start in the low 400,000s. But as you guys know, that is not gonna be the sales price. Most of the inventory is gonna be between like 475 and like 700,000, just depending on how big and what you put into the home. But something I also am gonna do, obviously these are not the only floor plans. With each series, they have like 25 floor plans. So in the pinned comment, we're gonna start to show you all the inventory in the neighborhood. So if you wanna look for homes in this neighborhood, you can go to that link and you'll see every home listed for sale in Haby Hill. Nonetheless, as we start, we're gonna be right here at the front door, another amazing 8-foot door, wood and glass accented. And then as we open up, you immediately just feel how grand this home is. I mean, look, double height ceiling, you have that like nice little catwalk up there. You can see all the way to the back. And like I mentioned, look how wide this hallway is. I mean, it's amazing. Regardless though, we'll start here on the left with the office. Pretty good size office. Obviously it is front facing, which is amazing. You can look outside, get a nice little view as you're working. And then you do have the glass accented French doors on either side for your entryway. And then we'll start with this first offshoot on the left. I love how you have this half bath towards the front of the home, not necessarily like in the kitchen or the dining room, but tucked in its own area so the guests can have some privacy as they go to the bathroom. You also do have a laundry up here, so obviously washer, dryer, and then over on their left, where that like plant is, pretty good space to put like a secondary appliance, so like a beverage fridge or something like that, which is cool. Love how they give you space for that. And this is gonna be the first secondary bedroom. Again, this is front facing. It's gonna be one of the smaller ones, to be quite frank with you, but I think this would be perfect for a guest bedroom since it's on the smaller side, but it does come with its own bathroom. So single vanity, obviously the toilet, and then you have the tub shower combo going on there. And like I mentioned, Perry's really big on like walk-in closets. So they give you a nice little walk-in right here, which is always appreciated. Just got a little bit of door maze going on. Regardless though, as we walk out, you'll have the garage across. So this, again, it's a model. This would normally be walled and your entryway from the garage would be right here. So you'd have a door on the right with the nice little mud bench going on right here. And like I mentioned, this garage is a tandem. So it's not a traditional 3-car, but you still get the space of a 3-car, which is amazing. So we'll start walking to the heart of the home. You have the dining or formal dining on the right, living space on the left with the kitchen and another breakfast / dining area over there. We'll definitely start over here with this first dining room though. Actually, I normally don't like dining spaces, but I do like this one because it's still very much so in the heart of the home without being there. It's almost like it's an informal dining, but regardless though, you do have the dedicated space for more of your formal dinners, Thanksgiving, maybe it's a holiday, whatever the case may be. They only have a 6-seater here. That table looks like it could easily fit 8. So definitely enough space for an 8-seater. But I think even if you didn't have that hutch on the right, you could easily put a 10-seater in here because it is a large room. Regardless though, we then will talk about this insane kitchen, absolutely gorgeous. I guess we'll start here with the island probably, huh? So nice island. Again, it has the movable cabinets on this side, or the operable cabinets, I should say, on this side, which is amazing. Had to do the waterfall edge, amazing, just so gorgeous. And then I do love the tone similar to the last one with the natural and the white. However, I don't like when they do this, when they kind of change it up top. We'll look at that vent hood here in a second, but we have a nice little area right here. This is probably where my coffee would go, my Nespresso or espresso maker. And then I love how they brought the cabinets up top too. They did a great job in this model. Shout out to Perry for that. Regardless, so you have the double oven here with the microwave up top. You have the nook going on here for the fridge. And then you do have a corner pantry right here as well, which is amazing. And then similar to the last one, they did the wireless charging on the island as well. Like I mentioned, feature you could put if you want, don't have to. Regardless though, you have the sink here in the middle with this like kind of like porcelain style insert, but like I mentioned, love when the sink is here in the island, easy to entertain. And then, like I mentioned in the last one, this is going to be gas. So you do have gas going on there. And then back to this. So I do love the cabinet look. I just wish they would have kept this all white. It would have looked a little bit better. But like I mentioned, Perry is a semi-custom home builder. So if you like it, you could do it. If you don't like it, don't do it. Regardless though, right here is the breakfast nook. You do have some nice windows going on in here. Another 6-seat table. So adamant space right here for more dining. But if that and the dining room isn't enough, as we saw earlier, you have more space here on the island for some more seating. So really nice kitchen. And then we get into the living space. So first and foremost, you got the double height in here as well, which is amazing. Obviously the centerpiece being that fireplace. It is gas and it is an upgrade if you were to build from the ground up. So something to keep in mind. However, here in Texas, it gets hot. I mean, it's like 105 degrees outside today, so you might not need it, but if you want it, obviously you can always add that as well. Pretty good sized space, adamant room for a bunch of furniture, and obviously with the double height, it makes it look even bigger. And another upgrade they elected to put in here is gonna be the sliding glass doors, something that a lot of my clients honestly don't necessarily care for because you still get amazing windows back here and a door with the window. So you still get the same amount of natural light coming in. However, you know, you don't have to spend the 10, 12, 15,000 just depending on which floor plan it is for the sliding glass doors. Before we actually take those outside, I wanna give you guys this look. Just so gorgeous. I absolutely love when they do spiral staircases like that and they curve the banister. It's just something that you don't see very often with builders nowadays. And I love that Perry does it fairly often in their 2-story homes. Regardless though, we'll take the sliding glass doors to the backyard, open them up, and boom. This is the typical covered patio here on the left. They did opt to extend it over here as well. So this thing is huge. Let me actually show you the scale of this thing. I mean, it pretty much goes almost the full length of the home. So you have a really good sized covered patio if you did do the extended option. Even the normal patio is quite plenty. I mean, it's from where we're at to that first pillar. So again, quite plenty for a covered patio. But if you wanted to get a little bit more, you like being outside or entertaining, obviously that's a really cool option you could do. And then if you look at the drone shots, this is a 2-story home. Mind you, it is a huge 2-story home at 3,600 square feet. So it doesn't actually eat as much of the backyard as the 1-story does because obviously it's on 2 levels. So you get a little bit more backyard space here. And they even did this kind of like gazebo, outdoor kitchen kind of thing, right? Obviously that's something that you may or may not want to do through the builder. It might just be too much money. Typically I would recommend just doing it after the fact, but again, gives you the opportunity and shows you what you could do back here, easily put a shed, or if you want to put a pool, that's very much so doable as well. And again, I'm trying to give you guys all the inside scoop on what's going on with these builders and what you can and can't do alongside all the standard features. And something that comes standard obviously is going to be grass, so you'll be fully sodded front and back. You also will have an irrigation system, a few trees in the backyard. And mind you, they didn't put a fence between these 2 houses because obviously they own both the houses, but you will get a fence all the way around, which is obviously much appreciated. So as we go back into the home, close the sliding glass door, you get to see one more view of this awesome living, kind of like great room area, which is amazing. Tucked in this section over here is going to be a coat closet. So you have a nice little coat closet. That's your low voltage. So your Cat 6 cables will go there with your modem. And then you have the primary to the right. But I definitely want to talk about this really quick. So you do have, at minimum, depending on the size of the home, a 2-zone AC unit on these 2 stories. But on some of these bigger ones, you'll actually have 2 units. So 2 AC units, one for the first and one for the second floor, which is amazing. You get to regulate temperatures throughout the home and not waste money if nobody's upstairs. But here is gonna be the primary bedroom. I'm telling you, one of my favorite features of Perry is how much windows and glass they use. So you have these awesome windows bringing in so much natural light in here. It's so bright in this room. And there's very minimal lighting other than that, right? You just have that. But this is a really good size bedroom. And I love how they brought the engineered hardwood in here as well. So again, if you build from the ground up, you get to really choose what goes into your property. And that's one of those features, not just the flooring, but where the flooring goes. Alongside that, right, they put this insane like industrial barn door, which is cool. And then you have the primary bathroom. So I always got to start with the tub, right? Standalone tub, which is amazing. You do have this nice big shower back here. So really nice size shower, bench over there. This is gonna be foundation or mud set. So you don't, I should say, have a pan or anything. And I love how they put this huge window right here with obviously the diverter being away from the finish or the fixture. Gotta have that. And then right here is gonna be the vanity. So obviously it's one full vanity together. You do have a side, I should say, for each partner, but I do love how much cabinets this comes with. And then you gotta love when they frame the mirrors, obviously. Over here is going to be a nice little linen closet, I'm sorry. So like I said earlier, storage is amazing. And then you do have the throne room with the walk-in closet here. So single walk-in closet, but it is pretty big. I mean, it even goes, I can show you the whole thing. It even goes down here a little bit. And then behind the door, you have kind of like a little bit of a linen area as well, which is nice. And then it does pass through to the laundry room, which on the right is that first secondary bedroom. And then over here on the left is the half bath to my left with the front of the home being over here. So personally, I love the fact where you can come straight out of the garage into the laundry, put your laundry away, as well as go straight to the primary bedroom. But if you owned a house like this, who wouldn't want to walk through this gorgeous home all the time, right? I mean, like, look at this thing. It's just stunning all the way throughout. But we'll now go up the stairs. Normally we show B-roll right here, but I want to show you just how gorgeous these stairs are. So like, just look at the spiral to that and imagine just like a 9 or 10 foot tree, like Christmas tree right here during the holidays under the chandelier. Gosh, that'd be amazing. So you do have the opportunity for that here. Obviously that was the loft. We'll look at that here in a second. But here's gonna be the first bedroom on the second floor. So like I mentioned, this is a 5-bedroom. So you're gonna have 3 bedrooms up. You do have good sized walk-in closet here. And then you do have 2 attic access points for whether it's storage or, you know, if a trade or somebody has to fix somebody, easy access there. This is almost like a Jack and Jill. They obviously have their own vanity in here. Here is going to be the tub shower combo with the toilet here. And then this door goes to the hall and can be locked if somebody's using it with another vanity here. So almost like a Jack and Jill going on. I really like that. And then you do have another linen closet there. Like I mentioned earlier, gotta love storage. And then here's gonna be the second secondary bedroom on the second floor. So this one's front facing. So you see the front of the home. And then right here is gonna be another good sized walk-in closet. And then you have the second thermostat for either the second zone or the second unit, again, just depending on how big the home is. But look at how big this loft space is. So you kind of have like this section over here for sitting. And then if you want to put like a ping pong, pool table, whatever the case may be, you do have the opportunity right here, or maybe just another sitting area, game room, right? You have that going on there. And then double doors into your theater or secondary flex room. So obviously I would use it as a theater similar to what they're doing. You could black it out like they did, put a projector up top, get it pre-wired, whatever the case may be through Perry. And it's the details. They blacked out the speakers, all of the accessories pretty much in here, and the electrical. So just the details, right? Just make it really dark in here and allow you to just lock in to whatever movie, TV show that you're watching. And then back to those infamous windows, bringing in some more great natural light. And then the last bedroom is gonna be tucked in this corner. And it does have an ensuite as well. So last bedroom and bathroom, Pretty good sized bedroom. This would probably be really good for the oldest child. So this is on the 2nd floor. Medina Valley being their school district, so they themed it up a little bit, but single vanity going on there. Obviously, you have the toilet, and then in here is a tub shower combo, which is cool. And then tucked in this corner is gonna be the closet, right? So you have a nice walk-in closet. So let me give you orientation one more time. Walking through the loft. That's that catwalk we saw on the front of the home. And then here is the back of the home. Gosh, I love this view. All in all, I'm a pretty big fan of this neighborhood, and I absolutely love what Perry did in both of the models, but I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. So go down below, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and maybe your favorite feature of one of the models. Alongside that, if you're looking at making a move to the greater San Antonio area or just have any questions on the market here, I want to be your real estate resource of choice. If you go down below in the description, or you scan the QR code on the screen, you'll get all my contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out so I can be a resource for you and your family. If you want to see a home similar to these, you can click here, and we'll see you on the next video.